What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bro Talk. I am here today with my bros, Mark G, Isaac, and Bilo. It's so good to see everybody today. It's a beautiful, beautiful June 9th, Monday. And brothers, y'all looking good today, man. Hopefully everything is going well. If you are new to this show, this is when we talk about manhood, brotherhood, fatherhood, and everything in between. So if you're new, want you to come on in, hit us up in the comments, say what's up, say hi, say hello. We love to know who you are. Also, this is an interactive show as well as we are having our conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about Father's Day, specifically about what are some gifts that you can get the dads. This is a question my wife has asked me several times. What do you want? What do you want for Father's Day? What do you want to do? What do you want? What do you want to do? I was like, well, I definitely want to eat. That's number one, for sure.
We know that. We know that.
Listen, most dads want to eat on Father's Day.
Without it goes without saying.
Nah, it goes without saying for everybody. And so we want to talk about some gifts that are possible. So, ladies, this show is really for you. So check us out. Send it to a friend that you know who's still thinking about some things to get. Yes, we like slippers. Yes, we like socks. Yes, we like spatulas, but we like other things too. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit today. But before we get into all of that, brothers, how's it going? How y'all feeling today?
Feeling good, bro. Feeling good.
Okay.
Well, I'm feeling amazing, man. I'm having a good time. I can't wait to start to talk about this gift stuff.
I thought you were about to say you're having another kid, man.
Man.
Oh.
Not yet, man. Not yet. I'm trying to, not yet.
You said not yet.
Not yet, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't turn off the turbo. I ain't turned that off yet, man. I got like two more shots, or one more shot. I got up.
One more shot.
But for y'all ladies out there, man, Father's Day, my gift is simple. So all I need is a gift card.
Hey, don't give it all to him yet.
I'm just telling him it's simple. I'm just letting him know.
Okay.
Yeah, just let it simple, man. Not too hard to please. I am not too hard to please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Isaac, how you feeling, bro?
I'm all right. I mean, maybe it's allergies y'all told me, or this summer cold, or almost summer cold. I don't know, but man, it's been hitting me since Saturday. So woke up with a sore throat, and I'm just trying to get through it. Usually, I'm good within 48 hours or so. So I'm hoping to wake up refreshed, renewed, and ready to go.
Bro, you got to get some rest, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna get that tonight. I'm gonna get some sleep, so I'm not worried about that. But it was a long weekend though. So we had our 25-year reunion for Wilson. Shout out to Wilson Wildcats, man. It was good to kind of go back to the school on Thursday, and I really haven't been through and walked through those halls for about 25 years. So, and it's crazy because I do a lot of work with in the community with youth and things like that. So to not really be in that building for that long is kind of odd, but it was really nostalgic, I think, just kind of, walking through, and we walked up to the third floor, to the end of the hall, took that left to the last class.
You tired when you walked up to the third floor?
No, I was good.
Wow.
What about the gym? Did you visit the gym?
I know Hold on. The gym that they visited though, what didn't exist when Ike went there.
Yeah, but y'all don't even let me finish my stuff.
I got a commercial in one of them gyms. Brock had that. Brock saved that commercial.
Yo, be trying to be funny about that weight room thing though.
It was interesting because they in the old gym that we had at Wilson, like the 3-point line, for those that know, the 3-point line didn't go around the whole court, right? So there were no corner threes in the varsity games at Wilson. So they had to end up taking down that gym, and they built a new one. you know, in 2021 it opened, or sorry, 2001 it actually opened up. So, you know, we were there for the construction, but, you know, we left. And when we left is when they actually opened up a new gym.
Wait,
but what's dope is,
huh? Y'all couldn't shoot threes in the varsity game?
Corner threes, just the corner. I mean, it had to be from the top, you know.
Oh, okay. We had that
semi curve. You got a curve, but yeah. So
that's nasty work, man.
the old gym though is now a library, and that joint is dope, man. So when I walked in and I'm just kind of looking at it, I'm like, oh wow, this definitely wasn't here when we were here, but that's because it was a full, you know, it was a full gym. But now they had a 2-floor library in there, which looked really, really great. So just shout out to, you know, everybody at Wilson, you know, that's kind of doing their thing. And you know, shout out to, you know, everybody that came out for a reunion. You know, one thing about reunions are always funny, you know, because what happens is you have, usually in high school, everybody knows that there's cliques, right? You know, so there's people that hang out with certain people. And, you know, when it's time for the reunion, depending on who's planning the reunion, is kind of who you know is going to show up. So, you know, I just want to, you know, encourage, if we do this again for a 30th year, to make sure that that planning committee is diverse, in the, you know, to make sure that, you know, more people are willing to come out and get that, you know, invitation from others. So, but you know, that's just the reality. You know, sometimes cliques never die, and you know that's cool too. I just didn't have one. So I knew a little bit of everybody. Say that again.
You just wasn't popular in high school. What you telling us?
No, I went, so I knew people that were there. I'm just saying, like, there was some people that didn't go, which shows, you know, what I mean? Which yeah, it's very cool. But no, I wouldn't say that I was popular in high school.
It doesn't mean anything in the end, right? It don't mean nothing. I mean, a lot of the popular kids. Never mind. I was about to say something.
Al Buddy was popular in high school,
and that's it.
Yeah, word.
And that's it.
But nah, it was really good to see everybody though, and kind of catch up with people, and you know, see what, you know, folks are doing 25 years later. You know, kudos to everybody, you know, that was there and came out. They're all doing great things as well too. So you know, just wanted to shout out, you know, the reunion committee and everybody that put in that work to make it happen. And you know, we had a good time. So
your reunions are all love though, man. Like I had mine a while back, man. It's all love, man. I think that's what's important, is that you go back to, yeah, like you said, same people that you knew. And people change, man. You know, some people that were quiet now become extroverted, and vice versa. And yeah, it's one of them things, man.
Yeah, I've always been the same though.
the same.
Today, yesterday, forevermore.
Whatever.
There we go. Stars have wings.
Oh man, B, what's going on in your world, bro?
Not much, man. If y'all saw my post, man, this weekend, man, my little guy had his debut, and this, you know, the musical, or the, you know, the production that his school put on. And again, just to see him, man, do his thing, man, and just follow his dreams, his aspirations, his desires, man, that was a whole, like, full circle moment for me. You know what I mean? Like seeing him, you know, again, live out a dream that he has the safety and you know, to be able to kind of express and pursue, that I never felt the same safety around, you know, being able to you know, I had the dream, or I had the aspirations, but it just never felt like it was something that was, you know, I could express or pursue. Just didn't, you know, for whatever reason, you know, but you know, it's just, so I was proud of him, you know what I mean?
That's the upcoming Denzel Washington right there, bro.
It's because you were trying to be too popular in high school, man.
Nah, I'm talking,
man.
Nah, you know, it wasn't.
It makes you happy.
Nah, I'll be honest again. I'm talking about from when I was, a little guy, wanted, you know what I mean, wanted to, I lived my life vicariously through TV, so that was kind of the sentiment. So, we got the Mr. Star himself here. You know what I mean? He again, just on stage, on camera. He's showing up.
There he
That's
is.
what's up, man. Congrats.
Thanks.
What's up, young actor?
It's doing good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, my friend.
Yeah, we're definitely proud of you, man.
Yeah, we heard about it.
Stepping out there doing your thing.
Great performance. Yeah.
Yeah, he did his thing. I definitely have to say I was proud of him.
My God.
Showing out for the 99 and 2000.
What's up, nephew?
Yo, I'm gonna find a link to my acting debut too, and I'm gonna share it with you so you can watch it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I didn't even show my kids yet. I gotta find it.
Oh yeah. When you I don't know, give them some context first so they don't think they got siblings somewhere else.
Nah, I'm not gonna give any context. I'm just gonna leave it exactly where it was, which is what you should have did too, Kareem.
Let's talk about these gifts Father's Day.
I actually did have a kid in that video though. So
yeah, you know what video I was talking about.
Yeah, I do. But the way you said it, like you gotta work on
it
that.
was kind of bad.
That's why you be on the couch, man.
Yeah.
It's the delivery, brother. It's the delivery.
Yeah, you're right. That's why we get a new couch.
You're still on the couch, boy.
Yeah. Sure. So yeah, like Brewski said, man, let's talk about these gifts. So if you're just joining us right now, usually in the beginning, we usually start off. See you later, nephew. Usually we start off by just checking.
Did you share your weekend though? Did you do your?
I didn't even talk about my weekend. Yeah, so real quick, man, my weekend did the Heart Walk and Run with the American Heart Association. Had about 7 bros that went out for that. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal experience, man. Thank you. There was a woman who is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, who is the new president of the American Heart Association, I believe. And she gave such a great story about her own experiences with her family members and the reason why it's important for us to get our hearts checked out, to know CPR, and for us to make sure that we're doing things to maintain our health. So it was such an amazing experience. Also, this weekend, just had some time to chill, relax, get some work done for my dissertation and everything like that. So yeah, that was pretty much it, man. That was my weekend.
Good stuff.
Cool.
So one of the things that my wife asked me this weekend was like, all right, so what do you want for Father's Day? And I was like, let me tell you Monday, because I knew I was gonna have this conversation with you all, man, about Father's Day and a gift that maybe that would be something, a gift that maybe that they can get for us or something to do. So I would love to hear from you brothers and anybody that's watching in the comments. Yo, shout out to Kelvin Darby. What's up, bro?
Yes, sir.
I would love to hear, man, maybe some gift ideas, some things to really be able to help our audience, because I don't know if y'all hear this, but I hear this a lot. We don't know what to get dad because dad got everything. I've heard that growing up. I've said it growing up. I've even said it about my own self. And I don't think that's true. We don't have everything.
I ain't got shh. Listen, we
don't have everything
right now. And there's like maybe 5 things that I could actually claim as being mine in here.
Shut your mouth.
I don't know whoever said that was just lying through their teeth, man.
Oh man. Yeah, man. So let's talk about gifts, man. Who want to kick it off?
Man, don't get me a tie. Don't get me no socks. I'm saying this right now because my kid's still down here. Don't get me one of those multi-tools again. You know why? Because you already bought me those things. and you bought me those things like in rotation for the last 12 years. You know what I mean? It's just like cycle them through.
Yo, so what you want, a new iPhone?
Nah, so the thing is, like, I always tell people, like, people ask what you want for your birthday, what you want, and I always say nothing. And that 9 times out of 10 really is the truth. Like, that's the God honest truth. I don't want you to go buy me anything, right? Because if I have to tell you what you're buying me, it's not coming from your heart. So you can go out and say, you know what, Dad, I think you need this. Or honey, you've been a great father. You deserve X, Y, and Z based on maybe some things that I was talking about throughout the year, or just because you see that I might need it. Get that for me, right? That's cool. That comes from the heart. I don't want you to go and spend any money, on me because it's a pagan holiday, right? Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Man, listen, they're trying to make money. They're just trying to make money off of us. And a lot of times when it's your kids going to buy it, it's your money. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need another pair of socks. You know what I mean? I didn't need another tie because I don't even really rock ties no more like that unless I have to. But yeah, it's just like none of that cliche stuff. I don't want it. Make me a card. Make me a card.
Okay. Well, a handwritten note was one of the things I had sent to everybody. As we were preparing for this show today, was like something personalized. I think for men, y'all think that something personalized is really what we're looking for?
I think when it's coming from the person in terms of to Isaac's point, if it's something that they thought of, they put time, and you can see the thoughtfulness in the gift, that makes it personalized as well. It doesn't it doesn't have to be something handcrafted or that they made, but when you can see like he was pointing out, if you get something that someone's mentioned throughout the course of the years where you can see, oh wow, I said that at some point and I'll remember having said it, and now I'm seeing it, like, just on a slight mention, not even that you really wanted it or wanted it that much, but just on the mention of it, you were paying that kind of attention to me and responded, and said, oh, you know what, I'm gonna put this in the back of my mind so that way Father's Day roll around, here you go.
Okay. What about you? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna add, like, something Eli could buy me, right? Or get me. Eli can get me a handwritten ticket that says, I will not ask you to play PS5 this week, right? Give me a whole week off. You know what I mean? Just
dad coupon. A dad pass.
Like, if I want to play, I'm gonna ask you. Like, leave me alone. Don't the second we walk in the house, I know you want to play, but you don't gotta ask me if I want to play. The answer's no.
So for me, for Father's Day, I take like a foot spa, man. Put my big boys in the give me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say, give me something
people who have not seen your feet don't have context.
Yeah, they don't even know what you're talking
about. Chill out, B. My feet have got a lot better, baby.
You know man, I think we just had like 30 people leave the chat.
Yeah, man, stop it, man. I've been taking good care of my feet, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, look at your LB. Even your LB just said, like,
who that?
You're number two.
He's skate. He's a skater.
You know what I'm saying? He got to use his feet to skate, though.
Yo,
he's a light skin skater one.
He might be
I'm gonna keep.
But no, seriously, I would like to get a sports ball, man.
But yo, that's a dope gift idea, man.
Yeah,
there you go, bro. And it's not much. You know what I'm saying? It's not much.
You know what? Latoya, Kareem, Latoya is your cousin, right?
Yeah.
So
Shannon.
So I asked a great questions. What can you do on Father's Day when you've lost every father figure?
I was gonna get to that one, man, but cause you got to it early, I was kind of waiting down for the show, but we're here now.
Yeah. Hey, hold up. Y'all, Y'all don't dismiss my gift.
Oh, you still going? Oh, my bad. Oh, my fault.
Let's
My
talk
fault.
about that. You know what I'm saying?
My fault,
Before
my
y'all
fault.
jump, what y'all doing?
My fault.
Y'all
All right, what kind of pedicure then? What kind of? We're gonna hold that thought. What kind of pedicure we talking about?
Dude, all my pedicures out there. You know me. I don't really go there too often.
But it's got to be the Asians because they're the only ones.
I was about to say, and you gonna
they're
need
the only
that,
ones built for that.
You,
Bro,
you ever
listen,
seen that Martin episode with Shanae? With Shanae,
Listen,
and she had the.
You got to get in there. You got to get in there.
Hey, listen. My best pedicure, man. I went to Africa, got my best pedicure, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
I'll have my best pedicure in Africa.
Y'all got me in tears, bro.
You know what I'm saying? My pedicure, man, you know what I'm saying? It's the best one I got in Africa, man. And
Yo, your number 2
I
said.
I even reach out to the person and say, hey, man, December, I need to see you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. So it's going down. But for Father's Day, though, I don't mind getting one. So if y'all out there, you know what I'm saying? Most of y'all got my number. Hit up bRho, man. Send bRho something in the mail, man, or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in New York, so don't be sending me stuff in New York. I'm not in New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the DMV, baby. So
just know whatever shop y'all send them to, make sure y'all tip them people well.
Tip them well.
Yo, Mike is going ham.
Y'all going overboard right now, man. Y'all going overboard.
This is Mike. Look at Mike in the comments. Look what Mike put down.
Well,
he said,
who's Mike?
Break out the sandpaper.
Stanislaus.
Yeah, who's Mike? I don't know nobody by that name. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody by that name.
We're just saying, get the light grit sandpaper though.
Yeah, boy, man.
Like the 440 or something.
The diamond crusted.
You see, man, them boys. See, that's what I like. That's why I like my number 1, man. He will never go against the grain. My number 1 will never go against the grain, man. What them lights can do?
That's because he don't be sober. Oh my God.
But I would say this. I think even though the father figures in your life may be gone, if there are people who you know who are, you know what I mean, great fathers, good fathers, examples of you know, in representation of fathers, you know, find ways to maybe celebrate them, or again, get them a gift card or something. You know what I mean? Because I think it's important. I tell people this all the time. If you know, it takes the village, right? So if you're connected to somebody, even if you're single parenting, but you know, your child has a great coach, you know what I mean? Acknowledge or recognize them, you know what I mean?
That's
you know, because even though that person, that coach may not be a biological father, they're spending time there, you know what I mean? They go out of their way. You know, I'm active in my, you know, and involved in my kids' lives. But my son had a football coach, man, dude, you know, good dudes, you know what I mean? And again, one of them, he's got his own, you know, biological children now, but he wasn't a dad, but you could tell how much he loved every kid he coached. Every kid he coached, man. This dude loved them, would go to bat for him. You know what I mean? You know, just, and so those are the things that we have to, I think, pay attention to is the people in our community who show up and step up in those roles, beyond just being, you know, natural fathers.
I got a question, man. Hey, Latoya, let's make it easy, Latoya. Get me that foot spa, man, and we call it a day. You celebrate me. Bar none. Let's keep it, Latoya. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You celebrate Mark, bRho, aka bRho.
Oh my God.
Call it a day, man. You know what I'm saying? So you don't got to worry about that. I'm a great father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I let it do what it do.
You know what? You just kind of said something that made me think about something.
Hit you with the heavy eye roll.
Hey.
I think that's a triple no.
I can leave my cousin alone.
And Latoya give me that. Yeah, you Kareem family. You definitely Kareem family, man. We're gonna tell you about the meat story.
Say no quick, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But B, something, and then Bruce, something you kind of said is that as dads, man, I think it's important for us to celebrate other dads too. Like you said, just let them know, man, the job that they're doing. Like I got my own kids, right? I got my son, I got my daughter and my son, right? But that doesn't mean that other men haven't played a role in their lives as well. You know what I'm saying? My dad, Brandy's dad, their coaches, like one coach specifically for Chloe, when I couldn't go get her, she would stay over his house with his daughter and wife and other children. They feed her, take her to practice, make sure she was good. Like those are things that I entrusted that coach with. And I think it's going to be important. So I'm going to make sure on Father's Day, man, I send him a text, reach out to him, and just tell him Happy Father's Day and how much I appreciate him. Because he stepped in and did some things that I just couldn't do at the time. And I think that's really important when we're talking about the village, and a healthy village at that, which is important. That's going to be able to help us. So sometimes dad can't get off of work, or sometimes dad is out of town, and I lean on y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say Happy Father's Day to all y'all. You know what I mean? And, Brew has a ton of coaching tips. bRho always looks out for KJ whenever, football is around. Isaac, looking out for things for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody plays a role, in that. So I think it's important even for us as dads just to celebrate other dads as well.
I really to add to what you say, Kareem, man, it is important. And for me, there's a lot of people that plays that father role. For me coming from the Caribbean to here, I didn't have my father. I had my uncles, my Uncle Sam, my Uncle Roy here. But I also have my coach from high school. You know what I'm saying? Coach Nate. I know some of you guys already meet Coach Nate. You know what I'm saying? Very important, man. I always, especially him, I always make sure he's good on Father's Day, man. I always shout him out. Here's a Jewish man that took me in like his own son up to this today. My kids call him grandpa. Amazing wife, amazing two daughters who I looked at as my two sisters. Coach Nate, man, is a beautiful person. You know what I'm saying? And up to this day, I have this relationship with him that is never going to change. You know what I'm saying? He looked at me as his son. Wherever we go, he introduced me as his son. Sometimes people just look. They all go like, hey, like, oh, yeah, okay. They don't question it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's always good to look at the face because my coach doesn't look Jewish. He look like he Italian than anything else. You know what I'm saying? But he's just a great person, man. Great person. And I always make sure he knows that Father's Day is important to me, and it's good for me to have him around always. You know what I'm saying? So big up to my coach Nate.
The fact that you bring him, I think you have brought him up each Father's Day we've had this show. We've been on for 5 years. So it just goes to show, man, the impact. We don't even know your coach, but we know your coach. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the way that you talk about him. And that's important too, man, is, let's talk about people with integrity when they're not there, right? Like talk about them, like the things that they've done, and then talk about it to their face as well, man. I think that's important too for them to also hear. And I'm sure you had told them all these things. This is no new news, but no, we don't want to wait till people, dead and gone.
Yeah.
And then we want to be, giving them their flowers at that point. We want to give them, their flowers while they're alive.
Right now.
Yeah, I want to say I appreciate that too, man. Like, so one of the highlights I would say from this weekend, was at we had a sneaker ball on Friday, and then we had a barbecue for the reunion on Saturday. And I ran across, one of my cohorts, Marquise, and he mentioned he said to me as we're leaving, everybody was feeling good, drinking or whatever like that. So, just said I appreciate you, and I was like, I appreciate you for the work that you've been doing, within the community. Like a lot of us have left, but I definitely kind of see you and the energy and effort that you're putting back in the community and young people in the community, and So I said, thank you, I appreciate that, and kind of left for the day. The next day at the reunion again, we're getting ready to kind of head out, and he brought it up again, and he said, I don't know if you remember, but my daughter was in one of your camps that you had years and years ago, and I just kind of remember how you carry yourself, and how you always looked out for the young people, and put in a lot of time, energy, and effort to make sure that was a good experience for everybody. And he said it again. And I can say honestly, like having that recognition from somebody that I know is a good father, and I know is a great father, and putting in that a lot of that work, time, energy, and effort into their kids to kind of see them grow and develop, and to hear him say this week too that now she's kind of graduating and getting ready to go off to college, man. Like those are the type of things that I like to receive. Like I'd rather receive that message than a gift. Right. So, I think, a lot of times, too, when people think about, how do you acknowledge somebody? And the first thing is always, what can I get them? I don't think that's necessarily the right approach or the right. Yeah, I don't think that's the right approach to ensure that person is having, receives what it is that you're trying to, get across to them. It's not always a gift. Like I've gotten gifts that cost a lot of money, and I'm just like, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel any better or as good as getting something from my kids that cost $2, from school, and they said, Dad, I wanted you to have this because X, Y, and Z, and they had a reason for it. So, I think a lot of times, ladies, gentlemen that are looking to get a gift for the men in your life to celebrate the work that they're doing. As a father or as a father figure, just sometimes it's just that acknowledgement and really thinking about why you think that person is a great father. So think about that as well.
And I want to say this about the dads, and then B, I know you in deep thought. I just want to say this about the dads, man, is that, I don't know why I'm going to say this, but if you're looking for somebody specific to tell you Happy Father's Day and they don't, I think that's something for you to unpack, because we can't make people say nice things. We can't make people acknowledge us. We have to look within ourselves. If we know that we're being the best dad that we can be, then we can rest our laurels on that. But if we're really not being the best dads we can be, and we're expecting certain people to tell us Happy Father's Day and acknowledge us and they don't, I think that's something for reflection. And I don't know how you bros feel about that, but I just really felt compelled to bring that up, because that happens too. Is that you have dads with children, but they're not getting that type of acknowledgement or love. And it hurts, when something like that happens. And I think it's just something, man, that we just have to reflect on.
It's a great point, Kareem. I believe that's a great point. I was going to ask you, what do you mean impact? I know what it means. You know what I'm saying? Basically what he said, that brother say, y'all got to be true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Said for the whole year, you've been a fourth of a daddy, and your kids didn't respect that. You need to go back to the drawing table and figure it out. Basically, that's what he says.
I would let me just turn it over a little bit, because from this standpoint, right? When you say wanting a Happy Father's Day from someone and not being able to get it, to a degree, that's my truth right now. I'll never be able to hear or say to my own dad Happy Father's Day again. To my brother, you know what I mean? So whether
that context, from that's a different context, but
but if you have your father living, even if they're not everything that they should be, or you wish or desire that they would be as a father, man, if they hear and you can tell them, tell them, because heal, and healing is for you. Forgiveness is for you. You know what I mean? They gotta account for that. You know what I mean? When they see their creator, you know what I mean? But don't carry that, because that weight, that burden is not for you. You know what I mean? Just heal. I just tell people, you know what I mean? Heal and be whole. So as somebody who doesn't have their dad here to be able to say it,
How do you walk somebody through that?
whether you know what I mean, what again, whether they've been the greatest dad in the world, or they got the most room for improvement.
The old me would have disagreed with you. Old me would have disagreed with you with like 2 hands and 2 feet up in the air. You know what I'm saying? But the new me, because I'm living in my peace, you know what I'm saying, I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? The new me now, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think a man that's not deserved calling a father, you know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of these, we could go back to like the athletes. They're making millions. Mommy alone, struggle. And we could name, we know a lot of athletes that's been there and done that. And then all of a sudden you see dad coming around. You know what I'm saying? They coming around because they want to benefit from the hard work that mom puts in. Mom that makes me, mom and God. We don't leave God out of nothing. So we're gonna say, we don't leave God out of nothing. So it's mom and God, probably grandma and granddad or whoever, auntie, I don't know. But mom is the leader of the family. You on the other side of town doing whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But yes, still you want to be a part of my success. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to, because when I see those things, man, I was watching something about that today. I think this guy named Doorman or something like that. It's like a YouTube thing.
Oh, my kids watch it all the time. It's Darman.
Darman. Yeah.
Kids watch it a
You know
lot. Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of his stuff, a lot of his stories make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's things that we face in the world. I'm gonna send you the one because I was sending it out to people. Okay. I'm gonna send you the one that I was looking at today. And I say that to say to you, no, I'm living in my peace, man. And my peace, I don't let nothing interrupt my peace. Nothing interrupt my peace. You don't do something in my face or whatever, man. We could just walk away from everything, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in that type of mode where that's where I'm at right now. So I would have disagreed with you, and I would tell you why I disagree with you. But now I would not. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. And I think that really resonates and speaks to my, one of the hearts of the point that I was making is, you know what I mean, in terms of like that growth learning process, you know what I mean, is a part of all of our, journey, you know what I mean? That, like you said, the understanding of where you are now in your life, you know what I mean? You understand that, and I think we all have room to get there, to grow, you know what I mean? And then even when we, get to certain levels of healing, there's levels within levels of healing, you know what I mean? So I think that's so important. I see Max Lifestyles wrote
that's still my cousin. She just on YouTube now. Yeah.
Got you. Shouldn't be only for someone who's still alive. You can forget someone who has passed away also. Can you elaborate on that thought a little bit? There's always room for forgiveness, regardless if they was there or not when you were younger. You can forgive someone. Forgive isn't just for the person that's being said to. Absolutely. Forgiveness, I tell people, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you.
Yeah, it's for
you. We walk around carrying that unforgiveness, that bitterness, that that anger.
Tell Mike,
it's a void, it's a hole.
Tell Mike I remember the spaghetti. I ain't forgive him for that low man.
You know what I mean? That eats away at us. You know what I mean? And then here, this other person, they living their life for all we know. You know what I mean? We don't know. You know, man, if it's bothering them at all.
True
and
that.
so the forgiveness is as much for us as it is for them. And I think even when someone, you know, when someone you can acknowledge, like, that, here's what I've come to realize about people. People know, you know, I know I'm not a singer. You don't have to tell me, oh, if you know, every one of us has that song or whatever that when it comes on, we forget who around. Like, we, you know what I mean? We start singing it. And you don't have to remind me that I can't sing when my song come on. Whatever, you know what I mean? Whenever it come on and I go into hitting all the wrong notes, you don't have to remind me I can't sing. I know I can. So people who haven't been all they should be as parents, they know they haven't. But when you can look past that and say, again, say something like Happy Father's Day to them, understand the impact of what that can do for them. You know what I mean? And what that might mean for them, and as a reminder, like, man, you know what? And despite all of my shortcomings, they still thought enough of me to genuinely reach out and, you know, wish me a Happy Father's Day. You know, man, I got to do more. I got to do better. And they may strive to do it, and it may not happen this year or next year or even a year after next. But I believe, again, you know, there's a saying that we say in the you know, if you grew up in the church like I did, they say, you know, one plant, one water, and God get the increase.
Okay.
So I, you know, the seed might be planted now, and you may not see increase for some time to come. And you know, and I'm thankful. You know, I even think about it in my own life. You know, I grew up in a household where I remember my aunts and moms and, you know, would be on the phone praying at 5 a.m. on a Saturday. Like, man, I know y'all not praying like super loud through the whole house 5 a.m. on a Saturday, but those prayers are why I'm here today. You know what I mean? So, you know, the increase don't come, it doesn't show in real time. We just have to, you know, say, I trust that I'm doing it because it's right and it's on my heart to do it, and allow, you know, God to do what he do.
Yeah.
To Bruce's point, to Bruce's point, I think, you know, you said you wouldn't have agreed, you know, in the past, but now you do, right? Mm-hmm. So let's think about it from the perspective of a father with young kids, right? Mm-hmm. And this dude has not been in their life, might pop in here and there, but never really took care of them, was never there to, you know, be that father figure, provide that support for them. These kids are maybe 7 and 9 years old, let's say, right? Two young, let's say it's two young boys, 7 and 9 years old. They haven't had the opportunity to grow and mature and, you know, think about, you know, what he might be going through or why he wasn't here. They just know that he's not there. Like, should he still be acknowledged? Should he still, you know, get that pass? Should he still be recognized as a father in that perspective and in that point of view? Or can he be classified as a deadbeat and not doing anything for his kids, and have his kids not respect him for not being there?
So here's my thought, and again, I'm not, you know, I would say this: if, you know, mom or whomever, right? My thoughts, my sentiments would be to have your kids call that dad and wish him the happiest Father's Day they could ever imagine. You know what I mean? They could ever wish him, because the reality is, he's, you know, we not here without him. You know what I mean? And I would take it a step further and say, you know, they'll get to an age and they'll be able to understand and decide for themselves that, you know, he wasn't, again, everything that he should have been. And he'll have to live with that, and he'll have to live with
I know. I already talked about that part. Like, I know they're gonna get there, right? And we talked about that element of it. But I'm just thinking about. I just want us to stick in that moment, in that time frame, right?
Yeah,
how should
absolutely.
they feel? How should they engage? How should they acknowledge, Father's Day this year in that moment, right?
Call them and wish them a happy Father's Day, and don't talk bad about them.
No matter what mom says.
No, that's my point. I'm saying the people around those kids, don't badmouth them. Whoever's around those kids, don't badmouth them. You know what I mean?
Do you acknowledge him though?
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't necessarily agree with that, but
that's the beauty of the platform is we
It's a tough topic for people, but this is a tough topic for people, man. People not gonna see eye to eye.
I'm also one of those people. Some people be like, oh, they wish me a happy Father's Day. You know what I mean? In terms of like, you have moms who be like, well, it's happy Father's Day. Like, no, I'm not with it. I'm 10 toes on that too. Like, we're not.
No mothers get happy Father's Days around here. But I'll ask this other question too. So,
thanks, sis. Shouldn't be forced. I agree.
I didn't say force. I said
no. I didn't say.
I said let him call.
My sister just throw something up, and I agree with her. That's all.
So I'm gonna ask this question.
No,
I'm gonna make it a little light right now. Does Anthony Edwards get a happy Father's Day?
His kid's not old enough to even say it.
He ought to.
So,
any other takers on that question, Kareem?
Let's look at the definition of father. I looked it up. Says somebody asked. Biological definition: a man who contributes genetically to the creation of a child. Legal definition: a man recognized by law as the parent of a child, whether it's through biology, adoption, or legal guardianship. Relational definition: protector, provider, a teacher, a mentor, emotional anchor. Cultural or spiritual role is the father is seen as the leader of the household. That's in bold. Someone who sets the tone for moral and spiritual development.
Man, that's a long definition, man.
Yeah,
I just read
I'm about to say it's 7 definitions. It's not even one definition. There's 7 of them.
Yeah, it's like 7.
So what's with Anthony Edwards? Hey, let's get back to this Anthony Edwards. So, Kareem, what you say about that? Is he?
I say yes. That's it though. Happy
from the kid
Day.
from the kid that he paid that the whatever amount it was. The one that doesn't acknowledge. The mom should send him a picture of the baby with a happy father.
He's still contributing.
How it happens is on them. But again,
they both decided to lay down together at some point, right? I mean,
my thought is this: is when you look around and you're like, man, I would not be laying my head where I'm laying my head if not for that check.
I mean, he's probably gonna get
I love looking at y'all faces.
He gonna get one phone call a year, bro. Anthony gonna get one phone call a year. That's it. Happy Father's Day,
you should get more phone calls than that. You should get more phone calls than that.
Yeah, man. Listen,
from her at this point?
Man,
yeah.
Like he don't want to talk to her.
Christmas.
You're talking about an infant right now. That baby not talking.
And lady,
definition of a dad is similar to what I was saying earlier, but protector, provider, teacher, mentor.
We have an emotional attachment to the word, whether it's father or dad.
Yeah,
we all
right.
have the words. The words resonate with us differently. You know what I mean? And we have a different, maybe personal attachment to the word and how we see it, how we experience it. And I think, and I'm not giving anybody a pass, right? Like I also think we got to have some context as well, right? At 23, if he was him saying this, and then if at 33 he's on he's got a different kind of outlook and perspective, I think that's worth, there's some time here in some maturation process that he hasn't experienced and gone through. He's been
a kid himself.
The dude became a millionaire, a multi-millionaire at the age of 19.
He's still a kid himself. He probably has his own father issues, right? We don't know. Like it could be.
He's got a lot of issues. Yeah, he I'm sure he does. But if you know his story a little bit, his mom and his grandmother both died when he was real young. So there's a lot there. So again,
yeah, it could be anybody.
Maturity wise, you know what I mean. There's a lot of it that So again, if Anthony Edwards was our age, kind of on that energy, I would have now.
You got to pull him aside, be like, "Yo, bro, like, what are we doing here, man?" Because that's the other piece right there, right? Is that if we know somebody that have children, man, and we're supposed to be friends, and they're not doing right by them in a sense, like we should be having that conversation with them if we supposed to be close, semi-close. If we call we calling each other friends or bros, right? Like that. I feel like there's a responsibility there. I would hope that the three of you would say, like, if I wasn't going to the football games, if I was focused more on work and trying to, I hope y'all would be like, hey, like, oh, wait, what's going on, man? Like, how you neglecting the kids? Because if I'm neglecting the kids, I'm probably neglecting the wife too, right? So I'm hoping people will come and try to like run intervention.
Yeah, I mean, they say birds of a feather, obviously. So the reality is like there's not a lot of people that would fall into that category of not taking care of their kids that you would be around. You know what I mean? And I think that's just like a character thing. If I knew that about somebody, or
you wouldn't be friends with them anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we're not building like that. We're not even going to get to a point where we're going to be close enough for me to have a conversation with you.
Average of your 5 best friends. Yeah.
So
you know what, man, Brew, I know you agreed with your sis. I like, the more I think about it, I would say, yeah.
I agree with that.
Make them kids call them.
I agree with I listen, I agree with my sis, man. You like, you got a little choke up when you look and see who's my sis that made that statement.
Nah, I didn't. Not at all.
Yeah, hey, I got a picture of your face, bro. I'm gonna show it to you later. I'm gonna just say, sis was right about it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
she's right about it.
I definitely, but it was worth processing, and I think about it. I'm saying, like,
that's the picture of the face that I saw when you was processing.
Okay,
but that's old school though, man. Like what sis brought up, that's old school, because see, that's what like our grandparents' generation did. Like they would be like, "Yo, you better go call him, tell him Happy Father's Day."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I believe that's right, because see, two wrongs don't make right, You know what I mean? And I believe in doing, stand on right. Michelle Obama. It is funny because she has a conditioned response to this statement, but Michelle Obama said, when they go low, they go high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by teaching, you know what I'm saying, I think you plant that seed early, and you can teach them, like, yeah, I understand, I respect, you know what I mean? I just believe in teach right. You know what I mean?
Well, I think, she said it shouldn't be forced, and you have to allow them to make their own decision. So I think that's just the opopposite. She's saying it's like it shouldn't be something that you tell them that they have to do. They should look through and process that and say, this is what I want to do, right? Or this is not what I want to do.
So let me ask you a question.
I think there could be some conversation around, well, why do you think you shouldn't call your father? Right, and then maybe have that conversation with them, right? And then maybe you approach that conversation from a positive perspective. But I'm not going to tell my kid if they really don't want to do that, or they really don't want to communicate with somebody because that person must have wronged them in some way, shape, or form. When we're talking about kids, like, kids are genuinely loving people, right? They're genuinely inquisitive. They most kids, want to, meet new people. They want to laugh. They want to smile. But if there's a reason that this 9-year-old or this 7-year-old does not want to be around somebody or does not want to reach out and call them and contact them, that has to be a really, really good reason. I don't know.
Send a text message.
It could be a lot of different things, right? Now it's like you don't have to. I don't think you have to communicate it at all, right? You don't have to communicate. That's just my perspective.
Have you ever, you know what I mean?
Amen.
Been like, wanted to do wrong and was like, I got to do right. You know what I mean? I think just.
Why is it right though? I mean, to have a conversation with somebody isn't necessarily right.
Nobody said have a conversation. Let's send a text message if that's, you know what I mean.
Is a text
that's communication though.
That's what I'm about to ask. But B, come on, B. Come on, B. Come on. Text, dude. It's still a conversation.
No, when he said have the conversation, I thought he meant have a conversation. Like I thought we were still talking about having a conversation with my kids and saying, unpacking their feelings about it. I can respect their feelings and say, listen, send it. You know what I mean? Because you will always know that no matter how they handled you. But
if they keep telling you no, I don't want to do it. Like,
that's what Smith was saying, bro.
It's more so taking that authoritarian perspective and saying this is what you need to do because X, Y, and Z, or like saying that you know better because you lived this long. Give them that time to live and give them that time to experience it, and then make that decision on their own. That's really what I'm saying.
We again, our process. We got to some of the process. Is the last
one. Hey. Right. Hey. We got till next Father's Day to process it,
right?
I think the other part of it too, though, is what we talked about earlier, is that once that father is gone and has left this earth, that's final. That's it. So if you have the opportunity, and I'm not talking about kids no more. I'm talking about maybe adults 18 and up, that you can make your own decision to want to acknowledge the person that helped to bring you into this world, whether it was through marriage, whether it was through not, whatever the case might be. But it's just hard, when that person isn't here, and then you can't say what you want to say, because now you come to the point where like, oh, now I feel like I can say these things, and there's no time like the present. But, I mean, I've seen people reconcile with their fathers. I've seen it, and it's not always beautiful. It's not always clear cut. It's not always smooth. Sometimes it's rocky as hell. But they're making that attempt, and like you said, they're not doing it for the dad. They're doing it for themselves,
right? So
that they don't carry that hurt, pain in their own heart, or that unforgiveness in their own heart, so that they can at least move on. Now, you can forgive somebody and still have boundaries. Like there could still be that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna hang out and be buddies now, but it at least means I'm gonna acknowledge you. It at least means I'm gonna, if I see you on the other side of the street, I'm gonna acknowledge you. Feel me? But
why we having a Father's Day conversation? We talking about negative stuff, man. Man, I appreciate all the stuff that you brothers do, man, on any given day, man. The time that you spend with your kids, the hugs that you give my kids when they pop up in the office or we see them out in the community, man. That's fatherhood. Yeah. That's what this is all about, man. Let's end this joint by highlighting some positive stuff.
Hey, man, it's a gift. It's a gift for you. It's for a person to acknowledge their father. They haven't done it before. That's a huge gift. That's a beautiful gift.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? That's a wonderful gift. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
I said this at the end of my post to Ike's point about about celebrating fatherhood. And I said this at the end of my post today that when I talked about Bryson and his being in the production, man, what's really sparked it was, so we had a team meeting and Ike was like, you know, our icebreaker question for the day is like, what's the first thing you wanted to be growing up? You know what I mean? What was the first career or profession you had in mind or dreamed of having when you were a kid? And it made me think about, you know, when my youngest son came to me this, you know, right before the start of the new year and said, man, I want to be an actor. And I was like, wow, I was like, yo, this kid, a dream I haven't even talked about since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Or, you know, even really thought about like that since I was a kid. Here it is. It's a dream of his, and he has a space safe enough to be able to dream boldly, live it out loud, and pursue it, and have the, you know, the environment that's, you know, supporting his pursuit of it. You know what I mean? And I didn't grow up in an environment where it was like, you know, grow up on Columbia and tell some cats back then, you know, I want to be an actor. Man, there would have been some long runs through the hood. You know, that's just what it was. You know, that's
actor and gate.
I mean, but you think about that though, B. You think about that. Is that ignorant? Is that a form of ignorance, or, you know, like Kareem said, in Gates, he could have said that, and he would be fine about that.
He making my point.
Yeah, he's making a point, but is that a form of ignorance though of our people?
Oh, I would say it is.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not.
No. I agree. I would say that it is, but it's, you know, there's so many you know, things that are residuals of the impoverished experience that we grew up in and around, that, you know what I mean, you know, that were a byproduct of survival. We did things, you know what I mean, to you know what I mean, like to kind of just fit in and survive, right? So so for me, the fact that, you know, I've been able to provide a life where my kids feel safe enough to dream boldly, you know what I mean, and out loud, that is, man, that's the greatest win for me as a parent, is that my kids get to dream. Like, you know, and I tell my older son, his dream is playing in the NFL, and I tell people like, don't come at him with that, you know, oh well, what's his backup plan type stuff. Nah, you know what I mean. You know, we if you got that energy, you know what I mean, like, just be like, hey, I'm rooting for you from the stands, like, because that's his dream, and I don't, you know what I mean. I want him to feel like as boldly as possible that it's real for him, because especially because he sees it. He's got you know, kids he trains with, work out with, man. He's throwing balls to a young man, footballs to a young man who has somewhere in the neighborhood of 34.
Let me ask you a question.
Division I scholarship offers. So to be able to throw to a young man who, you know, is on the trajectory to live out your dream, it's real for you. It's tangible for you.
Right. So let me ask you a question. You don't think your father and your mother was having those same? Want you guys, all of you guys, to live out your trajectory around that time, and want to create a space for you guys so you guys can live out whatever you guys want to do?
I don't think it's that they didn't want to or weren't trying to provide that space, but I knew the realities of where I was growing up outside of my house, outside of the four walls of my house. And then I knew, my mom was always, her dream for me was, she was like, ooh, you know, because teachers always talked about I was good in math and sciences. You're going to be an engineer. And that wasn't anything I had a passion for.
But Black people just love a good job, man. I heard somebody say it the other day,
stability.
Man. Black folks love you to have a good job, boy. You start dreaming, start talking about owning this, owning that, entrepreneurship, this, that, the third, traveling. Nah, man. Good job. Get you a good job.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and so I say, man, live, man, dream boldly, man, live it out loud, like, you know what I mean, and loudly, man. I see, you know, there's so many people I see, you know what I mean. A Facebook friend of mine, daughter is on Broadway. I mean, literal Broadway. You know what I mean? And then if you know Corey and Tanisha, you know what I mean? Their son, man, he's living and pursuing his dreams. I mean, and then like I said, for my older son, he's got peers, you know, youth that he's connected to, that he trains with, works out with, man, who are on their way. I mean, steps within steps of their dreams, right? You know what I mean? Getting NILs, like, just for him, like, these, it's so real for them now that I'm like, man, go at it with everything you got.
And as the dad, you protect their dream. And that's the part we haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm hearing from you is, like, they have that dream as the dad. I mean, and of course, mom too, you know, we're protecting that dream. That's part of us being protectors, is that, like, if this is what you want to do, bet, you know, let's give it everything that we got, because right now is the time to be able to do that. I think what happens a lot of times, we dream, we don't do anything about it. Then we get to be 25 years old. Now all of a sudden we're like, oh man, you know, and by that time we're in a position where we gotta work. We gotta, you know, be stable, I guess, in a sense, quotation marks. But when they're young like that, yo, dream big. And then as parents, we protect that dream, because somebody's gonna come along and say, oh, he wants to play in the NFL. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know it. You know the sound, right? And you're like, yeah, that's what he wanted to do.
Though. There's a difference,
That's
though. There's a difference, though. And let me say this. I hear you talk about your son. Kareem, I hear you talk about your son. And myself and Isaac could talk about ours and our daughters, right? Because I know Isaac do talk about his daughters and the competition and all that stuff. And one of the things we can't forget, like, the world that we live in, it's not perfect. One, two, it's a lot of single mothers out there, right? And that single mother works. And we talk about fathers, because this show is about fathers, right? And sometimes we have fathers not involved in their kids' lives, right? So we could come on here and say, hey, we want our kids to live bold. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to push this, B. Sister got your back, because whatever you guys talk about, you do it as a family. Kareem, same thing. Isaac, same thing for you, Isaac. Me, I don't have Josiah's mother in the house. We're not an item. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes on to Josiah, we on it. You understand what I'm saying? I think I could give her the props to say we are on it, right? So it makes it be like he has two families in a home, but no, he doesn't. You understand what I'm saying? So I make sure I ask questions. I don't let her. She don't make all the rules. When it comes to the board, she don't make all the rules. We make the rules. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have to correct her about that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I just say no just to say no. You understand what I'm saying? To get it right back down where we need to be, you know, at the end of the day. And I say that because we could talk about, we want to be bold with our kids and be bold with our kids, man. Sometimes that mother come home, man, she's so tired because daddy ain't home. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go there with that part of this session, because we want to, it's Father's Day weekend. And we need to leave it as positive as possible, man. It's Father's Day. We need to go ahead, man, and just cherish all the wonderful fathers out there, because we do have them. We do have them. You know what I'm saying? For me, look at me. One of the reasons why I'm in this great organization is because I didn't have certain things. I have a father figure in Coach Nate. I have that. You know, coming out of college, he pays for my college applications. He paid for me to take the SATs. You understand? You know, at that point he couldn't do it because I was one of his athletes. He loaned the money to me. You know, what time I tried to give him that money back, he said no. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and he paid for me to take that SAT twice. At the end of the day, You know what I'm saying? But so I have that father figure. When I came to Brockport, and I'm in Brockport, you know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about fraternities or sororities. I know I'm you know, but to see the men, Mark Morrison, Antoine Thompson, Gary Shaw, Mark stood out of all of them cats. Mark Morrison stood out. Then I meet DQ. You know what I'm saying? I meet Papa, Andrew Dixon. You know what I'm saying? Burwell. I meet all them cats. Cool. Oh man, really? I want to hey. And even after that, Rufus McGee, God bless his soul. You know what I'm saying? Real cat. And I could say they are father figures. I could call DQ about any problem. When I was a knee, I used to live on the phone with DQ because I didn't understand certain things and I wasn't going for everything that these profiles was telling me. I wasn't going for it. You know what I'm saying? Especially I was a treasurer. Money wasn't supposed to buy no 40s. You know what I'm saying? Chapter money that's supposed to buy 40s. You know what I'm saying? We have a little get together. So I used to be like, nah, let's chip in. They're like, yo, we're just at a party. We got thousands of dollars in our account. No. DQ will be like, yo, bro, blah, 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 blah. Man, as fast as these dudes got me out of being a treasurer. Oh, they didn't want me to be a treasurer at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But I was on the phone with DQ, Morgan Scott, another brother. God bless his soul. But those was fathers, man. I watch all them brothers. You know what I'm saying? Maurice. You know, Maurice was Maurice. You know what I'm saying? Maurice took me on some trips. Nice trips. You know what I'm saying? But he was a father figure. Rod Jones. I had to give it up. Life changes. But I had to give it up, man. You know, I can't be a hypocrite and say these brothers didn't teach me anything, man. They teach me a lot. All these brothers taught me a lot. And up to this day, I could call each and every one of those brothers if I have a problem. Family problem, any type of problem. DQ got all girls. All girls. You know what I'm saying? Life, man. Shout out to all the great fathers out there, man.
Oh. Shout outs, man.
Yes, sir.
Where we at?
We got the shout outs. So let me say this, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna take the floor.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to all the good fathers out there who played a role in my life all these years. You know, David Quarterbomb, you know, Maurice Ragland, R.I.T., Rod Jones. Who else? Mark Morrison. You know, shout out to you guys, you know what I'm saying, for treating me, man. Up to this day, I could still do what I do because of you guys. And my father right now, Mr. Nathanson, Mr. Ronald Nathanson, my guy, love him. You know what I'm saying? And my Uncle Sam, you know, that always show me what hard work is, man, and family. Although sometimes me and him don't get along, but that's my guy at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And keep it real. And for you brothers that always demonstrate what a father is for me, because I have the youngest ones. You know what I'm saying? And you see, watching you guys being fathers, man, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of what I got to model minds after. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Shout out my brother Brock, my Dean Patrick Setch. You know what I'm saying? Great fathers, man. Narcisse, great fathers. Lowell Wisdom, great fathers. Brother Kareem, Brother Bilal, Brother Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Thanks. That's my shout out. And Miss Karen Pashadley. I'm gonna shout her out. She ain't no father, but I'm gonna shout her out. I had to.
Yo,
Appreciate it.
so I want to shout out, man. Some again, just first of all, all you brothers, man. Again, you know, Bruce said it, but yo, you brothers, some amazing dads, man, and I'm blessed to be connected, and to you all as well as the brothers in the chat, man. My Sands, Doc Litter Brock,
Lenny.
my ADP, Narcisse, again, Lowell, just all the great dads in the chapter, man. Dub, I don't want to forget any, I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm gonna stop naming names except for I gotta shout out my dean, man. I've known this man since I was 14, 15 years old, and he has been the epitome of brother and father, man, the entire time I've known him, man. So just an amazing dad, and to see him experience, both his kids, you know what I mean, this year receive their master's degrees, you know what I mean. It's a testament to who he is as a man, as a father, you know what I mean. So I celebrate and honor you, Dean. To my spiritual father, Bishop Gregory R. Wells, Apostle Gregory R. Wells, man. If you knew me before the cross, then you understand why I'm celebrating and honoring this man. I'll use a phrase that Ike's brother Marcus says all the time. He said, every time I see you beat, I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm proud of you. And so his expression of that is a reflection of my spiritual father's impact in my life. My dad, who's not with us anymore. So that's why I say, it lands differently for me. So, I understand everybody's position on it, and I respect it, but just take it from somebody who wish they could say Happy Father's Day to the man that made them, created them. Happy Father's Day. And to my brother, Happy Father's Day. And I know that I got you, I got your grandson, man, and already been over here, hung out with me, and I got them down here, man. And I want to leave y'all, with this quote from The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith's character said this to and I thought it was just powerful that he was saying it to his own son, who was acting as his son in the movie. He said, you got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves, and they want to tell you can't do it. He said, if you want something, go get it. He said, don't even let me tell you can't do it. So, to every kid out there with a dream, go after it, chase it.
Amen, brother.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, man. So, as it has been customary tonight, man, definitely want to acknowledge all you brothers, the three brothers, other Black brothers on this screen, man. It's important that, we have, these type of conversations. And as you can see, we don't always agree, but I think that love is still there, regardless of that fact. And, to be able to kind of put these messages out and these images out, to have fun, to joke, spend time together, but always know that, we could pick up a phone and call each other, or, we could walk next door to the office, or, take a trip, down south and reconnect is a blessing to have. So, I appreciate, all of you, the things that you do for your families, but also the, example that you set, for me. And we all have our different, approaches on doing things and ways of doing things. And people that know me know I don't always talk a lot, but I do watch. And, I can say that I've been able, since I met you brothers at Brockport, I've been able to kind of take different things from each of you, and that really helped influence my life. So I appreciate you all and the role you played in my development as well too. I guess I'm going to approach this a little bit differently on the shout outs today. I definitely want to first and foremost shout out my wife for giving me the opportunity to be a father. If it wasn't for her, obviously, I wouldn't be able to get all those great socks and ties that I got over the years. So definitely, appreciate and love her and want to acknowledge her. And to Mia, I definitely have to acknowledge her for, making me a father. And, it's interesting just to kind of see her growth and maturation. And, sometimes I feel bad for her in the aspect of she's the oldest, right? So she gets the brunt of Isaac, right? Like, y'all know I could be what's the word, a-hole sometimes, right? But I could be a little sarcastic sometimes.
He's your twin though, just so you know.
Yeah, and my baby, like Tamia, is very, very sensitive. So I just have to try to find that balance, when I'm working with her and connecting with her. But she gives me grace and she loves me to death. And I have to say I love her too. So I just want to acknowledge, her and recognize her for her Core 4 performance. That's, top, what was it, math, English, science, or whatever. She has at least a 89 or better average in that. So I just want to give her kudos. Then I have to acknowledge, she just missed all of it. And then I just acknowledge you, sorry. But I also have to acknowledge Ava, for the work that she does and, making me a dad ×2. They just had a banquet for gymnastics. So they got these awards. I don't know if y'all can see these, but she got Little Miss Sunshine. Somehow, I that's not her. Like, she's not Little Miss Sunshine in this house, man. Ava got attitude. But congratulations to her for being Little Miss Sunshine at gymnastics. And then she got a Most Improved award as well too. So just want to acknowledge her, and she continues to make me proud as a father, and I definitely appreciate her. And then my baby girl Zoe, she got the Conditioning Queen award. And if you've ever seen Zoe do push-ups, I promise you, she can challenge any one of you brothers to a push-up contest. And if she don't beat you, she gonna make your arms gonna be shaking by the time you're done. But so they definitely picked the right person. We're acknowledging her for that. So kudos to her. She got a little trophy as well too. And then of course, my baby boy, Eli, he gives me the opportunity to actually do the dad son stuff, right? That I almost didn't get the opportunity, the chance to do. I didn't believe him when they told me it was going to be a boy. I said I'm going to have to wait till he gets here. But just wanted to shout him out and acknowledge him, for taking on a lot of those characteristics that I have. He's going to start driving his sisters, and then he's already getting there with his mom, but he's going to start driving them crazy pretty soon. So just want to shout him out for being a Ike ×2. And then last but not least, I got to acknowledge my brother Marcus. As a father, he's an amazing father. He's always making sure that his kids are good. His son Caden is doing his thing in track right now. For football as well too. He's playing sports. And the work that he just puts in, and his son Carter, is growing up, he's getting tall as well too. So I know great things are in store for him. And then last but not least, definitely acknowledge to me again for just calling and busting her butt. But I just need to shout out my dad, right, who is the reason that I'm here. And the time, energy, and effort that he puts in, to his kids, and I appreciate the stories, and I just appreciate everything that he's done for me and my siblings over the years. The fixing the cars in the middle of the winter, but utilizing his we were always good. So just wanted to acknowledge all those people who kind of poured into me. And y'all don't have to get me a gift, man. Just let me know you love me, and that's it. So,
Kareem, before you go, can you oblige me once because I would be completely wrong if I didn't shout out my father-in-law, man. If you know my father-in-law, man, he is not a man of a lot of words, but action speak volumes. There's not been one time I've ever asked my father-in-law for anything and he not show up. I mean, big or small, it does not matter. My father-in-law is, listen, he is not a tall man, might be 5'5", if that, but that man is a giant. So, thank y'all for just letting me, you know what I mean? As soon as I finished, I was like, and I started, I was like, I gotta get back in. I gotta shout out my father-in-law because this man, he's an amazing man, and I couldn't possibly not celebrate him. You see, my wife said Billy Goat because she called him Billy Goat because everybody calls him Bill, but he definitely the GOAT, man. The dude he's a giant of a man, and so I am.
How tall does he be?
Huh? Like maybe 5'5", maybe.
But you 5'6", man. What are you talking like, man? Like that man short? Stop it, man.
Yo, in cleats, I'm 6 foot.
All right, man. All right.
In cleats, I'm 6 foot. So,
Kareem, you got the floor, Kareem. Go ahead, man. Kareem.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna start this off by shouting out to the late Reverend Frank Raines III, who was my childhood pastor. He was my original spiritual father, so I definitely want to shout him out and say Happy Father's Day, even though he left us this past year. But just want to say Happy Father's Day to him, and just he's the reason why I picked up. I read the Bible now. He's the reason why I'm really strong in my faith because that was the foundation of that. My mom making sure that I was around, men of faith. Next, I want to shout out to Reverend Harmon Stockdale Sr., who was my pastor when I was a teenager, when I was playing bass guitar. Bro, I went to Mount Vernon, man.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how I know Jennifer. That's how I know.
Again?
Reverend Stockdale eulogized my grandmother. Great man of God.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, man, my grandmother was at Mount Vernon for many years.
Yeah, man. Money earning Mount Vernon. He
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You see the complex.
Man, he was the he was really the reason, man, why I got myself together in terms of my grades. He was always asking about my grades. He was asking for my report card. He was asking me how I was doing. I used to go to his house. So definitely want to shout him out. He's since retired. Want to shout out Reverend Glover. When I was in college, he was my pastor, man. He was a father figure to me. He's getting up there in age now. He's still living, still pushing, still preaching. So definitely want to shout out to Reverend Glover, man. A lot of wise words. Want to shout out to Warren Meeks Sr., also after I graduated college, man, who taught me a lot about finances. Definitely want to shout him out. Want to shout out, we already shouted this brother out, man. He is a father to the chapter. Brother James Waters Jr., also affectionately known as Bama. So, man, when I tell you, I talk to this brother almost every morning. And he has literally walked me off a cliff, literally, many times. So
he walked me off a couple of them joints.
Definitely want to shout him out, bro, for sure. And I want to shout out to Mr. Johnson, Dwight's dad, Dwight Johnson Sr. When I was growing up in Gates, man, he was definitely a father figure, man. He didn't hold no punches, man. He said what he needed to say, and if I was at his house, I was doing work. It wasn't, oh yeah, you Junior's friend. All right, here, go pick that up over there. But man, they that was the first time, man, I got introduced to Caribbean folks, man, and just the love and just how they just embrace me, as the person I am, man. Also want to shout out to Mr. Edwards. That's my childhood, one of my childhood best friends, man. His dad actually still lives down the street from me, still in the same house, man, from 40 years ago. Still around, man, and definitely appreciate him, man. He's such a good man, and I appreciate him for allowing me in his house and for allowing me to hang out. Spent the night there a few times, man. So I want to shout him out. I want to shout out to my Uncle Bo. That's my cousin. Man, shout out to him, man. He was the artist in the family. He was the one that got me to play baseball. Wasn't in baseball, man, but he was like, Courage, play baseball. He got me into it. I was decent. I didn't stick around with it, man, but I played baseball because of him. So I definitely want to shout him out. He's no longer with us either. It's been some time now, but shout out to him. Want to shout out to my father-in-law, Brandy's dad. Want to shout out to him, man. This house that we're sitting in right now, definitely shout out to him and just for him allowing me to take his daughter's hand, man, and to be in marriage now, going on almost 13 years, man. So we want to shout him out for sure. I want to shout out, man, the late great Bishop Rufus McGee, senior, man. One of the things that he told me, when he was getting ready to transition was, he said, man, Kareem, man, keep this chapter together, man. And that was a big reason why when the pandemic happened, I was so bent on us just doing stuff together, even if it was just us having Zoom meetings, Zoom parties, just ratting on each other, man. But we was having a good time, man. And he really told me, he was like, man, just do your best to try to keep it up, keep everybody together. So that's always been my mission. That's always been my thing. That's why that's why we do Bro Talk. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the mission. And that is the mission for me right now. And shout out to all the dads, shout out to you brothers. Man, you guys are amazing fathers, bro. Like, Balo, that talk that we had last week, a couple weeks ago, about like parenting styles and discipline. Yeah, that opened up my mind, man. I was like, yeah, we got to be able to do some things different, and then, Brew, man, watching you being a dad, man, across the ocean, bro, it's just, man, it's remarkable, man. I don't even know how you do it, but you get it done because you don't make any excuses about being a father, man. So I definitely appreciate that about you. And Ike, as always, bro, you having all them girls, man, I don't know how you do it, bro. Because you not one of a lot of patience sometimes. So just to see you, man, have that patience. Yeah. You gotta take some breaks, bro. You gotta take some breaks, man. And gotta take some breaks, bro. And then to all the dads, I wrote some names down. I'm sure I probably missed a few people, but charge it to my head and not my heart, man. I love you all the people that play a role. Shout out to my pastor, man, my spiritual father here, man, because he's the reason why I got serious about my faith, man. I really said that I call him my savior, but I didn't call him my Lord. And that's two different things. And I'm appreciative of that, man, because of where I'm at today, and just knowing that, like you said, B, one plants, one waters, and God provides the increase, bro. And my life has been that way because of the men that's been in my life. Some have planted seeds, some have watered it, and then God is getting the increase. He's getting the glory out of all of it, man. And last but not least, I want to shout out to shout out to my blood brothers too, Greg, Delmar, and Desmond for being great fathers as well, man. Those are my bros right there. But last but not least, man, to the legend himself, Mr. Gregory B. Hayes, Sr., my dad. And if anybody's ever had the pleasure of meeting my dad, you'll probably look at him and look at me and say, yeah, I don't know how this, but that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not, no, you was adopted, bro.
Yo, my dad is something else, man. But he always he asks you guys from time to time, man. But my dad, he didn't have his dad in his life, man. His dad actually just wasn't in his life. And for him to make a choice to do something different, to say that I'm going to be a father to my children, and the fact that my dad did everything authentically, and the fact that he wasn't perfect, isn't perfect, and that has allowed me to love him more, because being a dad myself, I understand now. Now I understand. I think that's part of the gift of fatherhood, is that once you become a dad yourself, and once you go through things, you look at your dad and you say, man, Dad, I understand now. I understand why certain things went the way that they did, or maybe they didn't go the way that they should go, because now I'm in that position. So shout out to the legend, Mr. Gregory B. Hayes Sr. I love you, and I'll always be your son from here until eternity. So that's my shout out, bro.
Hey, I can't. I'll be remiss, man, if I don't give my line brothers, Shaka and Bobby, shout outs on Father's Day as well too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shock, man, and Robert Rose Jr. Right?
We love you, Bobby. All right, yo. So we gonna keep this real quick on the outro, man. Like,
yeah,
if
this
you
is
got
it, man.
to be a dad, man, this show is dedicated to you. Unless you're a dad.
And please subscribe, man. What you gonna tell us? Please
Yeah, man.
subscribe
Go on YouTube. Yeah,
to YouTube and subscribe, man.
Well, like, subscribe, and then don't forget about us, because this is our last show for the.
Hey, yeah, this is our last show. Hey, shout out to my family in Jamaica, man. If y'all tune in, my Jamaican family, salute. Shout out to my people in BK. Shout out to my people all over the globe, man. I just send y'all.
Yeah, y'all might not see us again till like January, because football season be crazy.
Yeah. Football season's wild, man. We and B, you know, his son might be on JV this year, so we gonna be out that way. Oh, come on, man. I mentioned her name, but my wife Brandy, man. When we had our first child, Chloe, man, that was rough, bro. That was rough, man. Like Chloe just didn't. That was rough, man. And so, hey, my daughter, the same way that she came into this world is the same way she is right now. That girl marched under her own beat, but that's my baby.
Chloe, you're stretched out, man.
Listen, man, you seen her, right?
Yeah, she got tall, man.
That girl's something else, man.
I gotta work with her on the post, man.
Come on, man.
I gotta come to the rock, man.
Hey, man,
I gotta show the half hook. Boom
yes,
to the middle, half hook. Man, she gotta learn that half hook.
Hey, let's shout the people out real quick, and then we out, because we didn't get a chance to do that yet.
Yeah, man.
Shout out my LB Mike.
Yeah,
Mike,
for
I
sure.
don't like spaghetti, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shout out to Stanislaus. Donna, I'm not sure who Donna is, but thank you for the happy Father's Day. To Latoya, Kareem's cousin. Listen, appreciate you 1,000 for the engagement in the comments, man, and making some amazing, powerful points. You know what I mean? You know,
I'll see you in September too. By the way,
yeah.
I mean you know that already, but I'll see you in September.
And Shatoya, you did an excellent job with having somebody, you know what I'm saying, rethink. You know what I'm saying, sis? You did your thing.
Yo, so I guess I gotta eat that, because I always, Kareem, you know what I mean? I but y'all see, I done took it easy on my boy. But yeah, shout out to the wife. For definitely, she's always watches, even when she's not necessarily commenting. She's always on and supporting. And yeah, she made me a daddy. So again, much, gotta appreciate her. And Sharad, Perel, Damiano, Mubarak, Julian, you know what I mean? Y'all listen, y'all know what it is. My bros. You know what I mean? Columbia Ave, Marion Street, y'all. You know what I mean? Ackerman, we got a lot of years, you know what I mean? Jazz,
Webster, baby. Webster.
Yeah. So I love y'all, man.
All right, bros. This is it. Hey, we'll see y'all in I think B right. We might see y'all jokers in January.
Stop it. Stop it.
All right,
Peace.
might have to have some hosts later, y'all.
Later.